always do push-ups before I do like this.
Yeah, get them in, baby. Get some motivation right there. Woo! Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming out tonight. We're having some technical difficulties, but even better, right? Because Anthony and I do our best work when we're under pressure and when everything goes wrong.
That is true.
It's true.
That is 100% true, man.
So tonight we're here to talk about. Oh, is that recording, by the way, Heather? Can you just take a look? I want to make sure that is recording.
Do you want a red square?
It should have like little numbers ticking on the top. Yes, yes. So that way we're gonna blast this out to 100,000 people. Everyone say hello to the audience.
Hello.
There we
Periscope,
go.
what's going on social networks? Ready to go.
So today we're going to be talking about accelerating the detox progress. Okay, who here is on the detox right now, the 21-day detox? Awesome. Give yourselves a hand for being on it. I'm doing it too. Coach Anthony's doing it as well.
I'm on it.
Yes, yes. Do you do it always when our clients are doing it, or sometimes you don't, sometimes you do?
That's a great question. Most of the time.
Most of the time? Yeah.
Yes, I do. And actually, this time I wasn't going to do it, but I came in on Monday at like 4. Well, actually, you know, I was actually Sunday night. I stayed the night here, and I stayed right there on that couch because I was so excited. And I'm just joking.
But I was like, did you get in a fight with the
Yeah,
wife?
I know, that might would have happened right there. This is the Paul's place by default, right? You know. But yeah, I mean, and so that morning, right when we got in that morning, I just saw the excitement, and you know, I'm the type that kind of gets into peer pressure. I fall into that, you know. But
this is a good peer pressure. Though.
it's a good one.
Yeah,
it's a good one. So yeah, I joined it, jumped in.
Awesome. Yeah, we're doing it too. So 21 days accelerating because we're already halfway through. Yeah, and you know, just thinking about when you first started and where you guys were at. You know, just making the decision to jump into something that you weren't too sure about. Like, what's this stuff? Do I gotta drink cayenne pepper and lemon water? And what is this cleanse or detox? Really, I just think of it as a clean eating program. Healthy habits for 21 days. Just simply staying away from sugar, staying away from dairy, and just eating wholesome foods. Right? Like we should be doing anyways, but like Coach Anthony said, the peer pressure of our society and just our daily patterns and habits get us eating a certain way. I was looking at some statistics today. This slideshow's not working, but it shows that since 1970 till now, just 2015, the U.S. has gone from 15% obesity rate to 35% obesity rate. And the U.S. The rate and the trajectory is way further than any other of the neighboring countries. It's just crazy. So, I mean, what do we attribute that to? You know, what do you guys think? Unhealthy eating. Fast food. Unhealthy eating. But they have fast food in other countries too, don't they?
Yeah, but it's
like
portions.
I think it was like the 70s or 80s when they started supersizing. Or when did they start supersizing? Because that's the portions. I think the 80s, right? Remember all those commercials came out like supersize. And that's when you started to really see the incline.
And fat-free food.
Fat-free food. Yeah, everything started going fat-free. But what else is
Sugar goes in.
Sugar. Yeah, exactly.
What about sugar-free and all the other stuff that they add in there?
Artificial.
Yeah. So it's like one rebound to another. And so what we're trying to do is break the cycle here and just get back to simple, wholesome, clean eating and just being healthy, drinking more water, all the healthy habits that we know we should be doing, right? So, accelerating the fat burn for the last half of the detox. Okay? Because you guys are already about, what, 10 or 11 days in. And now we got, yeah, she's like, 11. 20 days, 9 minutes. As soon as we're done, I know what my meal's going to be. Believe me, been there, yes, I understand how that feels. So we're going to work into the last part, but the last half of it. Okay? When the very end of it comes, day 21, let's hear from maybe 2 people in the room. What do you, if I were to see you at the end of the detox and approach you and say, you know, okay, you finished it, what would you have to have had happen for you to be happy with the results on that 21 days? Yes?
BMI gone down.
BMI gone down, your body mass index measurably gone down.
Yeah, I really don't care about the weight. I'm more interested in the BMI going down.
Yes, and also body fat percentage, right? Going down, yeah. And that's interesting, not caring much about the weight, because he's working out, he's just getting into, you know, all the training that we're doing here, and that's a lot of muscle building activity, high intensity interval training. So if he's gaining a little bit of muscle, losing some fat, his body fat percentage will go down, but his scale weight won't move quite as much. It doesn't need to. He's losing the fat. That's what he's here for. So perfect, thank you. One more person, what's gonna make you happy at the end of this one? Your name first, I'm sorry.
Cindy, sorry.
Cindy, yes.
I think having more energy and more confidence, and not having the bad habits that brought me down, like my spirit and stuff down. I get stuck in eating on the couch and stuff.
Yes.
Breaking the unhealthy habits.
Yes, unhealthy habits.
I don't want to fall back into that.
Yeah, because how does that make you feel, right? When you're,
Down.
when you're in that state.
Crappy.
Yeah, down, crappy. You start to get in that lower energetic state, right? You want to be in that higher energetic state.
Do things when you do it.
Awesome. Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Anyone ever get like that, where you kind of want to hole away on the couch and stuff, and then think, yeah. So everything is about momentum, right? You start picking up momentum. You start hanging around with people that are like-minded, all getting healthy, and it's so contagious. So that's excellent. So we're going to get into ways to accelerate your fat burn on the last 10 days. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. We're also going to, after we do that, bring up some people that are guest speakers, where you can hear what did they do to become so successful. Not just during the detox, but after. And you know, how did they lose over 10 pounds in 21 days, right? And then continue to lose 20, 30, 40, and so forth after that, right? And then we also have someone here coming up, just talking about her experience with the foods themselves, right? Because, you know, who here considers themselves a cook? Like, okay, great. So we got about
Like
3,
I cook
4.
at home.
Yeah, you cook at home and you eat your thing. Who here feels like cooking's not really my thing? Yes, and that's, you know, it's something we all kind of struggle with, or most of us do. And so she's going to come up and share just her experience with the foods, you know, in how it's working in her family. Okay. And then at the end, who here is not a member of Way of Life Boot Camp? Raise your hand if you're not a member. Yes. So after tonight, you will be a member. We're going to give you an offer you can't refuse if you want to stick around. If that's your thing, we'd love to have you. You wouldn't be in this room if you weren't a good fit. Trust me, we have a weeding out process where, like, you know, as you're coming through, we have monitors that are watching you every second day, watching what you say. If you say anything negative, especially about the coaches, it's like a trap door. No. No, it's really about, you know, creating the right environment. It really is important, right? The environment that we create here is different than anywhere else in the world. You know, it's somewhere where you can come in, where people are going to be uplifting you. There's not going to be a single person here that's going to be trying to drag you down. And we do that on purpose. And believe me, we have sent people away before. I've had people pay in advance for a whole year and said, you know what, you're not a good fit. Here's the, I'm going to write you a check. You're going to have to leave. Because they didn't have the right kind of attitude. They're like, oh, I'm not going to high five anybody. I'm going to do my own thing. And just the attitude. So if you have the right attitude, you can take it as far as you want to go. If you have the wrong attitude, it's hard to really go anywhere. So, Coach Steele, you wanted to get into a little bit of the why we do what we do before we talk about the accelerated fat loss, right?
Yes. And why we do what we do, right? I think, you know, for both of us, you know, Forrest, you know, Coach Forrest, he would tell you the same thing, is that, you know, for me and him, I look at him really like he's a brother, you know, and if you guys can tell, we are brothers. We came from the same womb, and well, you know, at least the same heart, in a sense, right? Is that it's really more than having someone change their body. It's about changing their mind, and I think that that's what we do differently here than any other place. And you know, for us, it's been the last couple of years, we've been able to work with Oprah Winfrey, Deepak Chopra, and they, you know, labeled us the boot camp for them, right? And you know, with that too, we've been on you know, ABC's website as the boot camp to go to as far as a fitness center. You know, in the last 2 years, and actually third year running, is we've had the most weight loss as far as I call it weight release, right? Because if you lose something, you find it. But the Business Hall of Fame, they say it's a weight loss, so we'll go with what they say. But when we have boot campers that come in here, we're thinking release the whole time, right? We're thinking on a whole nother level. There's been a lot of great things that have happened here inside of the boot camp, and I'm not saying it's because of me or Forrest or any of the other coaches that are here. It's really the fact that, we've been through some things, I think, in life that has taught us more than, NASM, right, or having a kinesiology degree, or whatever degree someone might have. What we have is we've been through life. And so going through life, that's affected us in so many ways that I think we've been able to really tell a story, a true story that's been able to touch people's hearts that have came into the boot camp. And it makes them move to another level, I believe, right? It brings the best out of them, and we're able to bring that genius out of them. And, with all the credentials that we've had in the last couple of years, it definitely hasn't been that way. For me, just 9 years ago, I was over 300 pounds. I got up to 305 pounds, right? And I don't say it because it's a certain weight, right? Because the fact of the matter is that people can be happy at any weight. I really believe that. On the other hand, though, my question is, if someone is at that weight, at least I speak for myself, are they really working at their optimum levels, right? Of having the energy, having the confidence, having the happiness. Someone could be 105 pounds, 110 pounds, and still not have that confidence. But the optimum levels, for me, being that weight, it really dragged me down. Not only physically, but more so emotionally and mentally. And it took me to a point where I was, I started drinking alcohol at 15 years old, doing drugs and those types of things. And it took me to a point finally where I was actually visualizing myself. Instead of now I visualize myself being able to, say certain things and do certain things inside the boot camp that may have someone do an extra rep or a set to lose more pounds. I was actually visualizing at that time jumping off a bridge in Oceanside and seeing myself going over that bridge and getting hit by cars to make sure that I really be dead, right? So I had no more work in my life. And it wasn't, once again, because of the weight, but it was the fact that everything that had corresponded in my life at that time, I wasn't taking responsibility. I was making excuses. Not being an adult, right, but being a child at 24 and 25 years old and not taking responsibility for anything that was going on. But until I took responsibility and said, hey, this is all these sums of choices that I've made here has brought me to this point, not only physically, but mentally. It's no longer anyone else's fault, right? It's not my kid's fault, it's not my wife's fault, it's not my friend's fault that's in prison that I felt brought me to this situation where I got stabbed and got shot at. No, I chose to be in that situation, right? And so once I started taking responsibility, and the reason why I say my story is for you to mirror what's going on in your life, right? Because you may not have gone through those types of things at all, right? But all of us definitely aren't perfect, right? And all of us have our challenges. So what is it that's holding you back? What is it that you're not taking responsibility for? What is it that I'm not taking responsibility for? So once we take responsibility, I released 100 pounds, within a year, I yo-yoed a little bit, but I was able to release that. But what I started to figure out, regardless of me, having a six-pack, being in tip-top condition, right? It was more than that. I thought that was going to be, I thought I'd be like, I could, take my shirt off at the beach and at the pool and not feel like, doing one of these numbers, but it wasn't that. It was more so my mindset. How much my mind had changed about life. That was the jewel, right? And so I was able to see that, and that happened for me. But it's very similar with Coach Forrest about, the things that he went through, with the drugs and the cigarettes, right, that you picked up at, what was it, I think 13 years old, right?
Yeah, that's true. And, just listening to your story, it just kind of brings me back to, like you said, the mirror, and I can kind of remember back when, I was younger. I had body image issues, basically, just growing up. You kind of pick things up along the years. You go to a family gathering, and the first thing that they greet you with is, Forrest, you look so, fill in the blank, right? And you guys have had that probably experience where, some auntie at the Christmas party is like, oh, you look so whatever, right? And that's the words that kind of stick with you. And it creates this false self-image of who you think you are. So you have this image in your mind of like you being to this or to that. For me, I was too strong, too weak, right? So I would eat tons of like hamburgers and fries and things to kind of make up for having to gain weight to feel better about myself. Muscle weight, not fat weight. I'm trying to gain some muscle, right? But I didn't know how to exercise and things back then, so it turned into like this beer belly. So I was like scrawny on top, beer belly on the bottom. I was like E.T. from the rest of the movie, right? So imagine going around with that self-image. Imagine living that way. So what happened was I started pulling myself up, hiding away from the world. I became the shyest kid in my entire high school. But even before then, I started doing things like Anthony said that weren't too good for my body. I was, it's not like my kids these days where they're under supervision and they're always, being watched. I was just hanging out in the streets, since age 12. And my best friend and I, we found a pack of Newport cigarettes in the back of the schoolyard. So, it's like, what do you do when you're a troublemaker kid and you're hanging out in the streets and you find a pack of cigarettes? What do? You find a lighter. And I asked my buddy, now he took it out. I was like, oh, do you like this one?
That's definitely no filter, right? Newport.
So nasty, right? I didn't know what I was doing, but you get into that habit, and then we continued those types of habits because we were unsupervised. So at age 13, started drinking. At age 14, started smoking pot. At age 15, started doing harder and harder things to my body. So now imagine like the worst drugs that turn you into a real zombie, like The Walking Dead. You guys seen that show? That was me.
I can picture it.
Right? Yeah, that was me. So you wouldn't have recognized me for sure. But that was me. And it took one night. I was, I kind of pushed all my loved ones away, my family, my friends, and everything. And I was just kind of living from couch to couch, knocking on friends' doors at the time. Didn't have a place to live. And I remember it was a drizzly night, and it was in my neighborhood where I grew up. And I remember very clearly I was underneath the yellow street lamp because I could see the drizzle off the yellow and black night coming down. And my grandmother drove up in her burgundy car, and I love my grandmother to death. I helped her clean houses as I was growing up. She was living in me. And she came up to the side of me, and she rolled the passenger side window about halfway down. She peeked out way over the glasses. She leaned down. She said, "Forrest, take care of your body. If you take care of your body's going to take care of your mind. And then your mind is going to take care of your life." And then she just drove away. Didn't give me a ride. You would think your grandma would pick you up. No, didn't give me a ride, but and I've told the story a lot, but really every time I tell it, I feel like my grandmother's speaking through me. When I tell it, she's passed away now, but it's because of what she said and the time that she took to give me some wisdom, some really simple wisdom, right? That was my blueprint for life that I needed at the time. Some really simple wisdom that I was able to take in, because not all the time do we take in the wisdom, right? The wisdom was all around, but I was ready to bring it into my heart at that time. And, do we change overnight? Is it boom, magic? No, but it resonated in me, and it kickstarted what I call a process. Do you see that sign up there? Trust the process. So that has to do with you're involved in a process that you're trusting and that you're moving forward, transforming body, mind, spirit. So what happened was I started getting into fitness. I started eating right. I got into a martial arts program. I had never accomplished anything in my life. I became a second-degree black belt. Right? How did I do that? I created a vision in my mind of how to do that. It became this whole mind-body awareness thing. I started to learn self-discipline. Hello. But I got that from coaches and mentors and systems and people that, that's why we do what we do. We're basically paying back what other people gave us, right? That's the only reason why we're here, is we're paying back because our lives were saved through fitness. But more than fitness, because when I think of fitness, I think of it as just an image, right? That people think fitness is, where they look at a magazine or a TV show or P90X or whatever it is. I'm not downing anything, but the imagery of fitness makes me quite often sick because everybody is fitness. Everybody. It's not an image. It's a feeling. Fitness is a feeling, and it's an energy that you're involved in. So, you know, if we could just put aside the images, I mean, the before and afters, they can attract us, but it's the process that you're going to get into. That's going to change and transform your life. So that's why we do what we do. Does that kind of help? Give a little background into backdrop. And so since then, Coach Anthony and I have been able to transform thousands of people. You know, we're now coaching people worldwide, Netherlands, New Zealand, Costa Rica, New York. It's just so cool. And then you guys are a part of this. So I wanted you guys just showing up and being a part of all this. So please give yourselves a hand for being a part of this. Did you bring your notebooks? Oh, okay. Well, if you have a memory, the good thing is one of my favorite authors is a guy named Henry David Thoreau. Okay, and his whole thing, he even has you can even buy a shirt online with this quote, this famous quote. It's simplify. Right? Simple is best. Okay. Coach Anthony and I, we have several coaches that we hire. We pay tens of thousands of dollars for these coaches, right? And they give us like these weekly assignments. When we first got these coaches, we're ready for like this long laundry list of things, and we're like,
give us rocket science, right?
Yeah.
And take rocket science.
And now they're like, I'm just going to give you 2 action items to do just this week. That's all you're going to do. And we're like, that's it? Like, yeah, simple is best. We're like, oh, thank goodness, you know, because it was something we could do. Yeah. You know, it was something we could take action on. So that's what I want for you guys tonight. Okay, something you could do. So number 1. To accelerate the fat loss is going to be to take the Detox program and take our 14-day fat furnace program and converge them into one. Okay? Converge them into one. And the reason why this is going to work so effectively, I don't know if you've heard about our 14-day fat loss program, but our fat furnace program is designed as a carb rotation where you have a high carb day, a medium carb day, and then a 0 carb day. And then a high carb day, medium carb day, and a 0 carb day. And because it's bringing you through a high-low cycle, it's kind of shocking your body into burning fat, releasing fat. Okay? And we've done it time and time again. People have lost between 4 and 14 pounds in 14 days. And then we have the Detox, which now is the clean eating and everything like that. So now you're taking the 2 and you're putting them into 1. Okay? For 10 days. Cycle. Okay? So hold up to number 3. Alright, it's a 3-day cycle. Can you guys remember that? So repeat after me. High carb. These are brown rice and things like that. Quinoa. This isn't like, you know, stones or, you know.
Yeah,
Not that kind of high carb. Okay, no muffins or cake. Okay. Second day, repeat after me. Medium carb. Okay, so the second day, medium carb. You're having carbs in the first part of the day for breakfast and for lunch, but nothing after, like, say, 3 o'clock. Okay, it's just vegetables and the meats. Okay, and then day 3, say 0 carb. 0 carb day 3. So it's vegetables and meats and healthy fats. And you can have a little scoop of coconut oil, but just don't have 2 scoops of coconut oil because you'll be
release.
Oh man. Yes, it'll have to be very rapid now. Rapidly, yeah. Yes.
Brown rice powder, protein powder.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, brown rice protein powder.
And not have it Thursday.
You can have it all those days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, getting that extra protein for sure. So does that make sense?
Yes.
So the 0 carb day, are you likely to be less moody or more moody on the 0 carb day? Who here has a significant other or just people that they hang on in general, okay? Just be sure that you kind of like monitor your mood. So keep a journal with you and that type of thing. But that's number 1. Can you guys do that? It's pretty simple, right? High, medium, 0. Number 2, strategy number 2. That one is, have you guys heard of Tabata? Ooh, right, you're gonna add 1 10-minute Tabata in every single day. Even if you're doing boot camp or not, you're gonna add that on top of your boot camp. Every single day for the next 10 days. Okay? Some of you guys look at me like, Tabata, it's like, what's that? What is that? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna upload that to the page, a video of it. And you'll see Heather going through a Tabata workout. It's a video of you.
What?
It's a 6 a.m. class.
Remember that when you're doing this thing?
So what you're gonna do is 10 minutes, right? Can everybody here afford an extra 10 minutes of high intensity workout? So it can be done in the morning or late at night before you go to bed. But it's a 10-minute fat blaster workout. It's gonna speed up your metabolism. okay, and help burn extra fat, okay. And this, it's called the force multiplier. Doing a lot of things at once from different angles to get a force multiplier effect so that you're really seeing the results. The last thing is, who here, and be honest, is drinking a gallon of water a day right now?
Ooh.
So 1/3 of the room, right? So that would be the last thing, okay? Because most people are kind of halting or slowing down their ability to really burn fat because, oh, look at that. Because of the water, right? Because of the water. So the last, just think in your mind, water flush equals fat flush. Water flush equals fat flush. Your pee should be the color of that water you're drinking right there, okay? So 3 simple things. The carb rotation, the Tabata workouts, which we'll upload to the 21-day detox site, and then water flushing. You're just continuing with the water, okay? And that's it. Can you guys do that?
So we're starting now.
The carb rotation, yes, yes.
Wait, but we are still on the detox.
No.
No. It's exactly what I said. You don't have to find
Oh, is
anything.
that, so it's just
Yeah.
the carbs, okay.
Yeah, so you just do exactly what I said. And if you want, I can write the details out and post it, but that's it. It's so simple, right? And in the 14-day plan, it's like a read it, need it, very specific. You guys don't need that. You guys already have the tools. You just need the carb rotation part.
So no carbs after 3 o'clock.
Yeah, for the second day, and then 0 carbs on the third day. All right? Yeah.
And then you have a list in your in the detox of carbs that we should be eating as far as what carbs.
Yeah. In the detox, yeah.
In the detox.
Right, yeah.
It's only 3.
It's going to be brown rice, sweet potatoes, and quinoa, so that's the only one that you can have. So we're going to have some guest speakers come up and share their success tips. Okay, how they were so successful. Do you guys want to hear from these guys?
Yes!
First, we're going to hear about Heather with the foods, and then we're going to get into our 2 testimonials. So Heather, let's give a hand. Come on up. Heather, you guys, has been amazingly consistent in her workouts. She actually filmed one of our cooking videos in the detox, which was the almond flax chicken, right? Yes. Yeah, welcome.
Sorry.
So we'll give you the stage.
Okay, so what exactly do you want to know about the food?
Oh, your experience with the food, you know, in terms of how you've woven it into your lifestyle, or your experience with bringing it into your family, all that stuff.
Oh, family.
Yeah.
Well, when I first, I've been here, it'll be 2 years in March, so it's like a year and a half. And so when I first joined, I was doing, you know, this whole trust the process thing really resonates for me because I'm an athlete, you know, grown up, I'm healthy, we don't do fast food. So I was like, I got all this figured out. But I was really frustrated because when we first, my neighbor and I were joined together, and you know, we're doing all these workouts, and like the scale is just like, it's not moving, and it's making me crazy. And because I hadn't evolved to the place of realizing that it's not about the numbers on the scale. It's about how, you know, how you feel, and you're watching that body fat percentage come down. That was far more important. Time I didn't realize that stuff. So I was just like, Forrest, this sucks. You know, I've been coming for like 6 months now. Nothing's happening. It was like, okay, cool your horses, Sally. Have you done the 14-day plateau buster? I'm like, what the hell is that? So then, you know, I started embracing the quinoa and the sweet potatoes and blah, and did that, and definitely noticed a difference in terms of just like energy level and stuff. And I had done the thing too where I was like, you know, my Achilles heel is sugar. I love sugar. I love sugar. I'm a baker. I've got a 10, 12-year-old. Every holiday I do literally, it's called the 12 days of baking. So for 12 days I make like, and I post pictures on Facebook, and so Forrest in the Way of Life crew is like, check out this brown rice and chicken and broccoli dinner, and I'm like, look at my salted caramel blondie. It was like, I was not really feeling the vibe. So, you know, I just gave up sugar for like 6 months, which, you know, I'm one of those people that when I decide I'm going to do something, I'm kind of an all or none. It's hard for me to sort of do partial. Which also was part of my problem, and I figured that out later. So, you know, for me, once I got to, Leslie Allen is another boot camp member who's amazing, and she's got a whole nutritional background, and I tried doing her, I guess, are you calling it IF?
Yeah.
So I don't actually do the like intermittent fasting piece of it because the timing of it doesn't work for me, and so part of what I'm trying to convey to you is I think making it fit in your life, you have to accommodate everything to your specific life, your reality. You know, I'm up here at 6 a.m. and then I shoot home and we get one kid off to school, we're making lunches, do the other one, I gotta go to work, you know, then we come home and we divide and conquer. One goes to one soccer practice, one goes to football practice. I'm not gonna be done eating at 6 p.m. Can't happen. I'm gonna feel, you know. So it was more that the food prep was huge for me. That was like, bing, light bulb moment, that I sat there and, you know, shopped on Sunday, got everything I needed to get, and then now it's just kind of a part of my whole process that I need to count on the clock for 15 minutes every morning to be able to roll downstairs and, okay, I'm gonna do my 6 egg whites, cook those up, put them in my little thing, and then I make my salad with the chicken and the avocado, and I put them in the thing, and then I make, you know, I count out 20 omelets, and put them in my, you know, so it's like, and I'm doing all this stuff, and now it's just rote. That's just what I do. So it's part of my whole daily vibe.
Was it easy in the beginning?
Hell no. I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. You know, on some days I like just would split. I just would grab a bag of almonds, and then at like, you know, 1 o'clock I'm like, oh, I'm dying. You know, so I need like, you know, 50 almonds. But it's not my problem. So there were mistakes along the way, but and I figured a few things out. I know like there's this whole like fast food evil, but you know the reality is sometimes you're stuck, and there's great stuff that is out there. There's, you know, I mean, Panera makes beautiful salads, and you know you just have to be smart about. Now wait, can you take all that cheese out? And I don't want all that, you know, that crazy dressing. That like, give me the light one, and so you can sub stuff. And my favorite thing now is like I go to Pollo Loco and I'm like, I want breast, skinless, broccoli, avocado salsa. We're good, and that's it, you know. And I'm happy. So the food prep was a big thing. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, the recipes that Leslie included. You know, I'd be like, here we go, kids, check it out. And like a few of them, bust. Not so much. I was like, check out the kale egg bake. And they're like, oh, what is this? You know, I load it with more bacon, and then they're like, okay, my younger was down with it, but my older was like, so that's been trial and error. There's certain things I make that they love. Like there's a chili relleno casserole one, which is basically just, you know, ground beef and, you know, green chilies and cheese, but there's no carbs. I mean, it's pretty, and I just serve that with like a Caesar salad, and they're happy campers. So, you know, now it's like we just tailored it. I picked the things that they enjoy having. Because that was killing me too. When I was going, here's your meal, family. Here's mom's. And it's hard, because then you're just like, oh, let me help clean up your pasta. No, it's good. That's horrible. There's people starving. You know, and so I'm like,
Right here, right there.
and that's the thing, is I was taking these little bites, and I was doing the same thing with Leslie, like, this is ridiculous. Do you know how long I've been doing this? The scale's not showing like what I want it to show. And she's like, okay, well, take me through a whole day, and I'm like, whoa. And she's like, and there's no like, you know, little snacks in there? I'm like, whoa. I mean, I just have like, oh my, my kid's pasta. Like, how does that add up? And she's like, well, daily and over time. And, you know, it does kind of make a difference. And I think more it was about the mindset and just being like, I'm trying to accomplish something. I need to just not do that. Just let it go. And I will say this, that unlike the detox, because it has to, I think too, you know, for longevity, it's got to be something that's going to work for you over the long haul. I mean, I know it's important when you go, okay, I'm going to have a finite amount of time. I'm going to do 14 days, see what happens. So you shock my body. Great. 21 days, well. What I've done with Leslie's is now it's just kind of incorporated into, I avoid carbs as a general rule, except you get a cheat meal. And I really try to make it like one a week, because that was the other pitfall I had the first time I did it, was like, turn into a cheat weekend. So it would be like lunch and dinner, Saturday and Sunday. And you know, the reality is we're gonna have birthday parties, weddings, and you know, there's going to be events you're going to go to, the work potluck. Good Lord, the holidays are coming up, and it's like I work in schools, and it's just every campus you go to, it's like donuts and nacho bar, and it's like pizza up the arse. I'm like, okay, enough with the pizza. So you know, you just I do things like I make sure that I've eaten before I go, and then I'm honestly I'm not hungry at all, so I'm like, I don't want to mess with it, but you know. I look forward to now. It's like I know, okay, Saturday, where you know we have a Halloween party Saturday night. All right, that's my one meal. So I'm really going to try to be disciplined and good the rest of the week, so that when I go to that party, it's not like a complete and utter derail. You know, the difference too with what the IF plan is definitely there's dairy. You do a buttload of egg whites. You become really good friends with egg whites, and I've found lots of different ways to make them. But you know, it's protein, not so much the carbs, and that has worked for me just because I am a carb lover.
I think the biggest thing too, takeaway that what you're saying is you have to make it work in your life.
Yeah.
You have to make it work in your life, and if you're not, you know, because everybody has the key. We have different nutrition programs, and what she's talking about is some different nutrition programs that she's had in her 2 years being here, right? Because we have different ones that we have, because you can't stick with the same thing all the time. You got to change it up. So. You know, right now you're doing the detox, but there's always something else that you can do to change things up and to enhance what you're doing. So, but at the end of the day, I think the huge takeaway for everybody is just that, is got to make it work for you. You got to find your own key, you know, to unlock. And when the door opens up, then it starts to work and everything starts to click. So, yeah, we're going to thank Heather. Thank you, Heather! The next speaker, David Brown.
David Brown.
Let's get a hand to David Brown.
David Brown, amazing man, amazing. You know, not only has he fought in our military, right? But then after that, he's come on here into the boot camp, and he's went through some major things, major life things, as far as feeling down, feeling depressed, had back issues. And I think he was probably at a point, I mean, I don't want to hype it up, where you felt like you probably couldn't even really work out much anymore.
You know, about 2 years ago, I started having some severe back issues, being in the military, stuff happened. I had back surgery for the first time when I was 27 years old. And coming back from that, it was a really, really long road for me. And coming into the first 21-day detox, you know, I was 215 pounds, and I honestly didn't think I could make it through any of the workouts at all, because my back was so messed up. I was in such a really, really bad place mentally. I was honestly contemplating suicide. It was such a struggle for me, because I at some points I could, like, there'd be weeks, even sometimes like close to a month, where I could like barely walk. I'd be trying to go places and do things with my family, and I just couldn't do it. And I was like literally confined to my house. And you know, when I walked in the door, and I was like, all right, I'll try to make it through one workout. It was Monday, I think it started. And I was like, I made it through the one workout. I was like, all right. And I felt pretty good about it. So I came back the next day, and I was hurt. And I was like, and in my mind, I was like, there's no way I'm coming back the next day. It's not happening. No way. And my wife was like, come on, you can make it back. So I made it back the third day. And by the third day, something clicked in my head. It was like, you know what, no matter what, whether I do this workout or I don't, I'm gonna be in pain, regardless. Doesn't matter. And if I come back, if I make it back this whole week, you know, that's one thing I can check off the list. It's one week that I made it through. And I really, in my head, it just really clicked that I was just making excuses for myself every day, why I couldn't eat right, why I couldn't, you know, make it to the workout. And once that really clicked in my head, for me, was just no more excuses, no more. And that's when I think, at the end of the 21-day detox, I dropped, I think, like 18 or 19 pounds. It's really about just every day, you know, stop making the excuses as like what's easy. Like, okay, going to Wendy's and going to McDonald's, that's easy. You know, making those right choices, and I think that's what this 21-day detox is all about. Really, is just making right decisions and just seeing that you can do this. And maybe you might have your little meal at whatever you enjoy, your ice cream or whatever. But realizing that on a daily basis you can eat healthy and you can make better choices and just stop making the excuses that, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, and seeing it in a different way as to like you can do it. And that's really all I have to say.
One quick question before we go. So 18 pounds in 21 days, that's amazing, right, as far as numbers are concerned. But how has it been since you've stayed? Right, the lifestyle change.
Right, and for me, I really have stuck with it. It's like a kind of a daily thing for me now. It's to like just making good decisions rather than the easy decisions. The easy decision is not coming here. The easy decision is not going to wherever and getting that quick fix of a meal when you're hungry.
And you've lost like 40 pounds now.
About 46 pounds.
46 pounds. 50 pounds.
How long have you been coming?
Coming up on 5 months.
Is your back still on thing?
All it's something that like honestly, because like I think a lot of people look at me now and they say like, okay, well, this is a guy that's probably been coming here for a long time, and they see like, okay, well, but I'm honestly always in pain. It never goes away. It's something that it's just because I see a lot of people and they're in and out of here, and I feel like they make excuses as to why they can't, instead of making excuses of why you can. Take that hour out of your day, take those few moments out of your day to make a good meal and to come here and get that one. And there's gonna be things that come up. There's days that I don't come either. Sometimes that happens. Life happens. But just it's all about this detox. It's all about making good decisions and just taking in a mindset change as to why you can do things instead of why you can't.
Thank you, David. The last speaker, this person started a year ago. She just hit her Way of Life 1-year anniversary. And she started when it was a different way we did it back then. It was like you came in for 21 days, you paid us $300. And if you lost at least 10 pounds, then you got the money back, or you could apply it to a membership. She lost 13 pounds in 21 days, and she continued on for a whole year. Let's give a hand for Maria.
Yeah, so like Forrest said, it was I remember exactly the date. Like I never forget. Like October 6th when I started. It was the first day of the 21-day detox. But I remember coming to a seminar to learn about. It was like, we'll train you for 21 days. It's gonna be free. And I was like, well, let's find out what it's about. So I came and we were out there, and Anthony and Forrest did a little line thing. So they kind of have to do like half squat. And you're doing this to the person in front of you, so any kind of like a little like massage or something going on. And I want to say he said we're gonna do it for like maybe 30 seconds or something, but I don't know if you've ever had him on a timer. So it was track, so I'm pretty sure it was more than 30 seconds, maybe like 45 seconds. But either way, I was in that half squat, like not even that low, and I was just done. My legs were feeling it. I was like, whoo, I was winded. And for me, that was the moment that I was like, I don't know what they're going to talk about yet, because they hadn't talked about it or what the deal was, but I was like, I need to do this. Like, this is very obvious. Like, this is like a little warm-up or something, and I can't do this. Like, I can't physically, keep up with it. Like, okay, I have to do this. So then they went over and they told us, what the deal was. And yeah, some people walked out as soon as they pretty much heard, what it was. And for me, it was like, no, that makes sense. Like, they called it putting some skin in the game. Like, you need, what is going to hold you accountable? And to me, like, since I've been here, like, that's why I think I have the results that I have. I'm down 40 pounds now.
Wow.
Yeah, we always want pounds, but of course, the body fat percentage. We have this where it tells you, like, whether you're in the red or it goes up to the green or whatever. I remember doing my weigh-in, and it was in the red. And I knew that I was overweight, but for me, I always thought like I was just normal. That was the image I had of myself. I wasn't aware of how much. So when I saw that, like, it really hit me hard. I was like, wow, like, I'm close to being to that obese. Like, I didn't realize how much overweight I was. And so that really upset me. I was like, okay, well, my goal is just to get to the green. Like, that's my goal, And I ended up dropping, I think in the 21 days, I dropped almost 2% body fat, which was a big deal to me. But since then, I'm down over 10% body fat. And
Wow.
I'm really stoked about that. And so just little things like that, I always say, like, way of life changed my life. And hearing David's story kind of got me a little emotional, but I'm trying not to think of it, but it really did, because prior to coming here, my life was at a standstill. I can't remember the last time before being here that I set a goal for myself. And it gets to me because, like, I hear it, and even saying it seems silly, like, and I have people around me that would talk about it, or coworkers, or family members, like, oh, they're gonna do this year, they're gonna do that, and for me it was like, what's the point, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna start something, and I'm not gonna follow through. I've done it before, I can't do it. So I just kind of brushed it off, didn't deal with it, right? But I knew, like, okay, if I can do these 21 days, like, for me, that's what it was. I'm gonna do these 21 days, I'm gonna get my money back, and I'm gonna go do it on my own. Like, that's my plan, I got my workouts, I got everything, woo, I can do this, right? But it must have been probably my, obviously, like, first, second week here, and we're doing these partner ab exercises. I don't know if you've done them, but you hold your partner's leg behind you, one person's laying on the floor, one person's doing leg lifts, and you're pushing them down. And so I'm doing it with one of the girls, and we were supposed to do, like, maybe 10 or 15, and then switch, like, so you do 10 and then we'll switch. So I must have done like maybe 5, and my core is just killing me, and I physically can't do it anymore. Like, I was just like, I can't. And honestly, I wanted to just get up, walk out, and just be like, oh well. It's like, I can't keep up. It's boot camp, it's scary and all that. But just the environment that Boris and Anthony created here, like, everybody's, super helpful and ready to help you out and ready to, just be nice to you. And I'll never forget, she must have noticed it, she must have seen it in me, and so right away she's like, it's okay, you want to switch? And I was just like, it was like a huge win. I was like, yes, please. Okay, so we switched and we finished off, and I was like, okay, great, awesome. And that's when I realized, like, oh, these like high fives and these like all the good jobs and everything, like, it's real. It's not like, at first I was like, oh my god, another high five. Oh my god, oh my god, I put a high five. How many high fives are we doing, At first I was kind of like, this is kind of weird, But then I realized, like, no, this is real and it's contagious. Like, I do it all the time now, and I know I see new people that probably look at me kind of weird, like, really, like, I'm like, good job, because you're wearing a name tag. Good job, Margaret. And you're just like, okay, but then eventually you see it, like, you see them a week later and they're doing the same thing, and it's just, it's just that the ripple effect that you have, it's positive. And so for me, it's like, that's when I realized, like, I'm staying, afterwards. And sure enough, I signed up for 6 months, and now I'm here for another 2 years. Like, I've paid in advance, and, because the major thing I think we can all take away from, for me, it's been accountability, There's been accountability from the beginning. So, and you'll see it now, like, from the Facebook page. If you're friends with the coaches, they'll call you out. They'll ask you, where were you? Where you been? I haven't seen you. Has anybody else seen you, And you make friends with people, so then they're on your friends list, and now it's like, oh, where you been? When am I going to see you? And you make friends with people, and you want to work out with them. Like, oh yeah, this person loves with you. You're like, when am I going to see them next? Yeah. So accountability has been huge. I think one of the biggest things now is, like, for me, is like, no longer like weight loss, like, oh, I gotta lose this or that or whatever, but it's been like, I want to set goals of, like, I want to be able to do a pull-up on my own. I can do like a couple now, so I couldn't do push-up when I started, I do Spider-Man push-ups now, like, just little goals like that I set. In January, I've been here for maybe a few months, but I started in October, and I decided I'm gonna go run a Spartan race, and it's those crazy obstacle course races, and do mud and climb walls, and steep hills and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna do it, you know. And I went and I did it. And then I was like, I found out there's like 3 different ones you can do. There's like the 4 mile, and there's like the 8 to 10, and then there's the 14 mile. And I was like, you do all 3, you get this cool medal that combines and it makes a trifecta. And I was like, I'm doing all 3. Like, it's gonna happen before the end of the year. And sure enough, last month I completed it with the team. And like I said, a year ago, like a fun run was like not in my mind. Like that was, I had friends that would ask me to do Camp Pendleton mud run or color runs, and I was always like, oh no, yeah, I'm gonna shake it up. It's not gonna happen. You know, there's no way. And now next year, that's my goal, is to run the elite heat, which will be like actual competitive. Like we're running for prizes, and I never would have imagined myself to be that kind of person, or to even think that I could attempt it. So.
Wow.
Maria, Maria, Maria.
Amazing. Awesome. So, accelerate your results. Continue doing what you're doing. You guys are doing great. You know, just trust the process, which means trust in yourself, trust in the coaches, trust in life, and know that you're doing the right thing. You're going in the right direction. You know, I think the people that spoke said it all. Like, we cannot never even speak better than what they said. So, if you're already a member, you're free to go. If you're not a member, stick around for 5 more minutes. We're going to tell you what the continuation program is, and we'll give you an opportunity to go for it, or we'll give you the first right of refusal before we send it out to our newsletter list tonight. Okay, so thank you guys. Give yourselves a hand for showing up. Yeah.